Hi, I'm Steve. This is Fran. Today we're talking about two of the best premium luxury brands, Sub-Zero Wolf versus Miele.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking?
So great comparison here, a lot to get into. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to start with cooking. Now we're going to break down cooking into a few categories. We'll start with ranges, specifically all gas professional ranges.
All gas professional ranges, well, first of all, Miele doesn't make a 48 or 60 inch all gas range.
Correct.
They discontinued their grill in their 36 inch ranges, so you don't get a grill. All right, so Wolf has more. But when you look at Miele, I think it has more features and some less features. So it really depends what you're looking for. What look, Wolf is the more professional looking, Miele is a little bit more contemporary looking. The burners, depending on how you cook, Miele's are more powerful in the front, less powerful in the back. It's like they have 8,000 or 9,000 in the back and 19.5s in the front, versus Wolf is 15,000 on the front. However, they both, I think Miele's got the dual convection, which should be a little bit better than the single convection Wolf. It's also self-cleaning.
Yeah, it's got the timers, the controls,
It's got timers, controls. It's got, it's all cleanable too. The Miele is the most cleanable you can buy. You can throw the grates in the dishwasher. You can leave the racks in for self-cleaning. It's got the clock and everything else. This is really a hit or miss, depending if you want a grill or a 48 or 60 inch range, or even, Wolf discontinued the French top too in all gas. But really depends what you're looking for. I would edge it a little bit towards Miele with a big asterisk, or depending on what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Just feature-wise, if you're looking for, like you said, the timer, the self-clean, a little bit more features on the Wolf, or with the Miele rather, on the all-gas. So now dual fuel, very different ranges for both. Big upgrades for both brands there.
Especially for Wolf. Wolf's upgraded their range like almost biannually every 2 years, since 2020. Now you're talking about upgraded burners, 20 and 18s. So it's going to be more powerful than the Miele. It's got, once again, you've got French top selections in the 48 and the 60 inch. So French top is you can leave it in the cooking vessels and cook many different things at different temperatures. Fantastic. They put the VertiFlow convection in. So it's got 2 fans and extended heating elements to deliver the most even heat. You've got the Wolf Gourmet.
Deeper oven as well, with that kind of convection system that they have there. Really, the Wolf Gourmet is awesome as far as kind of the pre-guided cooking and really kind of walking you through everything. Although the Miele has a very good comparable with the Master Chef as well.
Master Chef gives you steam functionality, which, if you like to bake bread, hardened crust, caramelized tops, that's fantastic. And the Miele Master Chef, I think, is the easiest. Wolf is a little bit more practical, so I'll even tell you the rack position. But Miele incorporates steam, and I think a steam assist, when you learn to use it, can really enhance the way you cook differently. Both are good. On this one, I would say Wolf would be the better one.
Yeah, I'd lean Wolf also. I think they just have different options, and I really like their Wolf Gourmet system. The oven really is a superb oven with the dual VertiFlow, the deeper oven. I think they did a really nice job there, adding a ton of really nice and convenient features and usable features. So I would lean Wolf as well.
And they'll have colors, like at the end of the year, white and black.
Yep, something. Next, let's jump into built-in cooking, and let's talk about wall ovens.
Wall ovens, you're talking about taking that dual fuel oven and putting it in a wall, basically. So it really depends what you like. You like the functionality of the better convection system and the functionality of the Wolf, or the steam functionality and kind of like the easy use of the Master Chef. It really depends on this. I'd almost call it a tie. It really depends on what you're looking for. I think, if you like to bake a little bit more, maybe the Wolf will be better. If you use the steam functionality, then Miele might be a little bit better. But you're talking about probably the 2 best wall ovens you can buy.
Definitely. I think for strictly wall ovens, I think they're very, very even. They both have, again, the tremendous kind of guided cooking programs. The Miele is really cool, where you can kind of leave the racks in the dishwasher or in the oven for the self-cleaning as well. They have the wireless temperature probe, so some cool features there too. But I would definitely say this is a really even comparison. I agree there.
Yeah, we're talking about a meat probe. I think the meter,
that talk about wireless.
Wireless that tells you how everything's cooking, and then incorporates that the time it stands, because when you take it out of the oven, it's still cooking. And that particular wireless probe, which you buy for like $99, will give you how it's supposed to be finished, even as it's cooking on the when you take it out of the oven. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, a lot of good features. Which one would you go with?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go stylistically. I'm going to lean Wolf because they do have some different options. Miele does too. They have a few different looks and styles, but they all kind of really lean towards that contemporary style. Wolf, you have kind of the professional, you can do a transitional. They have the truly contemporary with the push to open.
Yeah, that black is really nice.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for. I'd probably edge it to Wolf a little bit. Okay. But really good comparison. It really depends, obviously, on the way you cook and what you'll do. So
definitely.
Good choice.
Now let's go steam ovens. So built-in steam ovens here.
I have a Wolf steam oven that I'm replacing. It's 2017. For the new Wolf. Have you seen the new Wolf steam oven?
Yeah, they're great, wider, way better controls.
I mean, you press a button for pretty much everything, and you can store recipes and everything like that. I'm shocked how good it is. I mean, it is so intuitive. It's really amazing. I love that steam oven, and I have the Wolf oven. So I didn't want to incorporate not that I'm vain or anything. The Miele and the Wolf stylistically are very different.
Yeah.
So putting one over the other will look kind of strange. So I'm going Wolf. But the Miele is really excellent too.
Yeah, and we talk about the Wolf kind of expanded the size from their old style, but the Miele is still even bigger. Really, one of, if not the largest steam oven there. It's taller, so you're still going to get similar width, but you're going to get a lot more height there, so you can fit bigger casseroles or just more multi-level cooking. What Miele also makes it super easy there with their MasterChef program. What I really like with them, especially for people that are new to steam ovens, and a lot of people are when they're buying a steam oven there, that multi-step cooking where you're cooking your main meal, the side dishes. You can set all that up ahead of time, and it really just tells you exactly when to put what in, when to take it out. It changes the modes automatically. So for steam ovens, I really like the Miele. I think the ease of cooking and cooking multiple different dishes is easy, and the size of it as well, I really like too.
I don't know if Wolf's so new, I don't know if it can do that, but I know that in terms of features, the cooking, the amount of things you can do by just pressing a button, it's amazing. That's the way I would probably cook it. I'd edge it because I can't see myself doing that, which I probably is delimiting thought, but I probably should do it like that, I still like the Wolf maybe a touch better, but I could see how you would like Miele.
Yeah, definitely. And I also I think cleanability too on both of them is pretty good. With steam, it kind of loosens that dirt in general anyway. But I really also like the texture of the interior of the Miele, kind of that little texture to it makes it a little bit easy to clean there too, I feel so.
Okay.
All right, so now let's do Induction as a whole. So, they both make some induction ranges, induction cooktops obviously as well. So Induction as a whole, let's compare.
Okay, you want to do ranges or cooktops first?
Yeah, let's do ranges.
Okay. Ranges, you're going to get 30 and 36 in Wolf. You're only going to get 30 in Miele. And really, when you compare it, it's almost like taking that professional oven we did in the first, the dual fuel, putting in the wall, but now we're going to put it into a induction, right? Where you're going to have that Wolf Gourmet functionality, the Vertiflow convection functionality, versus the steam convection in a Miele. The only difference is I think the controls are a little bit nicer in the on the Wolf than the Miele. I think the Miele needs to be touched up a little bit. You have bridge capabilities on the Wolf that you do not have on Miele, and you don't have a 36. So for me, I think the range, although, again, it's really up to whoever's viewing this. I mean, the steam assist functionality is, it's such a good feature. It's so easy to use in Miele that you can't not mention it. But for me, I think the Wolf's a little better only by default. If you're looking for a 36-inch induction, you're getting Wolf.
Yeah, absolutely agree there. I just think, obviously with the 36, there is no comparison there. Both really good ovens like we've outlined before. Both have that guided cooking. Miele has come out now with a second 30-inch option that's a little bit less expensive, but then you lose a lot of those features.
Yeah,
of course. You're losing the MasterChef and all that stuff too. So, but yeah, I would lean Wolf here as well. All right, that's everything cooking. So now let's jump into refrigeration.
Sub-Zero Wolf is really a lot of Wolf, but Sub-Zero, the amount of configurations that you can get in a Sub-Zero fridge, compressor top, professional, 48 48-inch French door, 48-inch side-by-side, water through the door, internal water, just the sheer magnitude. And it's really good product, made in the U.S. versus, say, made in, I believe, Miele Thermador Gaggenau, made in Turkey in the Excellus plant. Nothing against that, it's all good. But in terms of refrigeration, Sub-Zero's, I think, better. It has to be.
It's really hard.
How many configurations do they have?
It's crazy, yeah. I mean, you're really comparing.
Pages of configurations.
Yeah, you could take kind of all the Miele's and compare them to the Sub-Zeros, and you still have like another 25 models to look at with Sub-Zero.
You got Pro, you get the designer that you fit behind a cabinet.
Yeah.
You've got the professional with the compressor on the top. Miele's good.
Yeah.
I mean, Miele, you can't say Miele, Thermo, or Gaggenau are bad because they're good. And in certain places, and we'll talk about promotions in a second, they have a 36-inch French door. It's the most popular fridge they have. But when you get it, and then they have the column style, so you can get a 24, 18, one of those to make a 42. But the sheer array of product and the quality thereof is, I would say, Sub-Zero is probably the best refrigerator you can buy. Not saying you need to buy a $10,000 to $15,000 refrigerator because there's plenty of others, but if you are, it's probably the best choice you have.
Absolutely. And you're starting to see more of that bigger French door sizing become a lot more popular in the 42s and 48s, where Miele doesn't have that to this point yet. But as well, Miele has some nice, really nice controls with the temperature controlled bins inside there. They have really nice side ramp up lighting as well.
Great lighting. I moved to a place last year that had a Miele. It is shocking how good the lighting is on either side. Really good lighting, actually.
Okay. So Sub-Zero is going to take
By
refrigeration for sure. And next, let's go dishwashers.
Well, you only have one, the Cove dishwasher, which has really just been, they introduced it during the pandemic, which is not a good thing, to ship anything. But I think it's a great dishwasher. You're certainly quiet. I like the racking. I like the lighting. I like the cycles. Everything that a good dishwasher should be, it is. However, that said, it's $2,500. Now, we're going to talk about promotions later, and you can get it for $1,000 if you buy, Wolf and Sub-Zero. But, here, Miele has got all sorts of dishwashers from $1,200 to $3,600. You can get professional dishwashers if you want to do that. Miele is if Sub-Zero is really a refrigerator company, then Miele is really a dishwasher laundry company. And in this case, I'd have to say almost by default, Miele wins just the way Sub-Zero won refrigeration.
Exactly. I was saying, this is a similar conversation that we just had in refrigeration. Miele just has so many there, and they're so innovative there too. Like even in their higher end, the 7000 series, some really phenomenal features in general, just how well they just won the washability and how well they'll do delicates and chinas and crystals and things like that. But then they, incorporate like the power disc for automatic dispensing in a dishwasher, which really the only one. You see that in laundry a lot, but you don't see it anywhere in dishwashers.
Yeah, when they first came out, they have that auto dose, which means it doses at the exact time, the same way laundry does. And I'm like, wow, what a gimmick. I mean, no one's going to buy it. But people say that it washes, and we tested it. It does wash better.
Yep.
Not to say others wash worse, but we tested with eggs and all this other stuff. And Miele does wash the best on the 7000 series with the auto dosing. But again, it's a dishwasher company. It innovates, Miele, Bosch, dishwasher, Sub-Zero may be true in refrigerators,
Sounds good. So Miele with dishwashers. So that's all the categories. But let's just, before we end it here, let's at least talk about some of these promotions with these companies.
The one thing, it was terrible buying appliances from 2020 to 2022. Now it's really, I'd love to be a buyer buying appliances now. The promotions are incredible. Like, it used to be Black Friday. Black Friday hasn't ended. We're filming this in May. Black Friday ended maybe for a couple of weeks during the year.
Well, we were talking just about these promotions. Well, like looking at the calendar, it's like, well, there really is. It just rolls right into the next promotion.
You'd almost be unlucky to buy an appliance on a promotion. However, what makes it really interesting is that Miele is heavily promoting, whereas Sub-Zero Wolf really isn't. I mean, you're going to get $1,500 on a Cove dishwasher. You're going to spend $2,500 on, but you're going to have to buy the refrigerator. You have to buy the stove and other qualifying appliances for $25,000 to get that $1,500. However, Miele has got 15% off. with qualifying purchases. And that's a significant amount of money on a
Definitely.
very good product. You know, when we talk about cooking, it's like you can go either way on this stuff. Even the dishwashers, refrigerators are good, and the other stuff, and even the induction is good. 15% off is a lot of money.
Yeah. And I would say too with the Miele, like there's steps to get there, so it's not quite as rigid of a promotion as it is with the Sub-Zero Wolf. But this is what you really have to get. A little bit more flexible with the Miele
Yeah.
too.
So I mean, we can't pretend that everybody's just going to spend. I think you can get a Miele for a pretty reasonable price now.
Yep.
And Sub-Zero is still luxury. But we haven't discussed the latest one yet.
I was going to throw that your way. Definitely want to get your thoughts on that. So Miele now with their ranges has come out with a 10-year warranty on ranges.
Yeah, I'm not even listening. Because, really, why not 20 or 30? It's like, the 20-year tub warranty that Samsung's getting. Yeah, okay, fine. In year 17, when you need a new tub, the repairman not making money on that part is going to charge you a ton for the labor. I think that, if they own their own service, right, or if service was better in the appliance business, a 10-year warranty would mean something. I just don't think these extended warranties without any kind of service really mean much of anything.
Yeah.
I mean, service is a lost department for us, but it's good to keep customers. But there's no way that in year 7 or 8, an independent servicer is not going to say, okay, here's your labor charge.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, the part's free or whatever it is, or
Yeah.
if it's full or limited or anything. No one's going to fix it for free.
Yeah.
And Miele is not going to pay the going rate it takes to fix a 48-inch stove that needs a new M-Touch control or igniter system or something like that. So I don't really look at that. I think of the two, from a service aspect, depending on the market, and you can't say a blanket one is better than the other, because in certain regions one might be better than the other. But I would say that, because Sub-Zero Wolf is here, they've traditionally done a really good job with repair and service. They're one of the best in the luxury space. Whereas, Miele is in Germany. They're both family owned. They care about their brands, but I would say the edge there to Sub-Zero. Did I just rant there?
No, that was good. Listen, I was soaking it all in. I love it. It's a nice headline, it sounds like, but not a lot of substance behind the
I've been doing
10-year
service for
warranty.
so long. I look at these extended warranties. I'm like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But who's going to do
Right.
it? At
Sounds
the end of
nice.
the day,
Yeah.
you need to get it repaired, right? So I don't think it's going to be done within that 10 years for free.
Yeah. I think we've seen how the service can go for sure. So you know a thing or two there. All right, that's everything.
Rant aside, that's it. If you like these ranking videos, we'll have more. So hit the subscribe button, and thank you very much for watching.